Today, we're going to take a look at the inside the waistband holster from Craft Holsters I.W.B. Hey guys, I just want to show you how the holster conceals and how I personally carry it on my body, and then we'll go over how to holster and unholster the firearm during a live fire shoot, and then we'll go back to the car after, get a further in-depth view of the holster, give you my final opinions, and I'll send you on your day. Alright, so let's do it. It's right here on my 3 o'clock position. It's designed for 4 o'clock, but I prefer 3 o'clock because it's more reminiscent to my 1911 holster. Alright, so I just get comfortable, go down, bring it up, pull it out. You kind of got to feed it in there. It does have a bit of a retention piece on the edge to help keep it in shape. It's kind of useless and it doesn't really hold its shape. So you got to feed it in there with your left hand sometimes. So let's do that one more time. Get comfortable. Up, down. You have to feed it in there. One thing I want to show you up close, really fast. So you go to reholster it. If you push with some force, it's completely fine. But if for some reason at all you rock that holster back, I don't know if they caught that on camera, but that pocket clip just comes straight undone. There's really nothing holding that in there other than a little clip, and it doesn't seem to hold really well. We all know in a gunfight though, it's the way it draws, not the way it reholsters that really counts. But it's just something to keep noted that if you're going to reholster, you reholster it and you rock your wrist at all. There it is. At the range, just getting some practice in. It's not a huge deal, but if you're out and about on the town and you're squatting, jumping, running around, anything like that, it may pop off on you. So it's just something to keep noted. So let's do it one more time, show you how I draw the firearm out of the holster. Then, like I said, we'll go back to the car and get a further in-depth review. All right, one more time. Make sure it's covered, seated in properly. All right. So I like to keep my arms at my side, grab my clothes, go straight up. I lean a little bit, go down, bring it up, present, come back in, lean it, help guide it in. That time it kind of kept its shape, so it's kind of hit or miss, and then cover it back up. All right, let's head back to the car. We'll get a closer look at it, and then we'll send you on your way. All right, so here's the holster, guys. It's an inside the waistband holster from Craft Holsters I.W.B, like I mentioned before. It is free. They did send this to me for review, so I just want to get that on the table. I did not purchase this. It was sent to me, but I'm not going to let that interfere with my honest opinion and my honest review. So starting right here, we got a new addition to their holsters, which is a reinforcement piece, which is a must-needed addition to their holsters. The previous one that I purchased from them was this. It was an outside the waistband holster for my 1911. As you can see, it doesn't have a reinforcement piece up top. So it does tend to collapse if I put my belt on fairly snug. This one, on the other hand, does not do that anymore. It does slightly, like if I don't have it holstered, it does slightly want to close a little bit, but it still maintains its shape and holds open a lot better than their old design, which makes for reholstering the firearm very, very easy. Moving on over here, they got these nice belt loops. It's a belt loop design, so it goes on your 4 o'clock position. I wear it around 3 o'clock because it's very similar to where I wear my 1911 holster. It's just my preference, could vary by person or body shape, anything like that. But for me, it's most comfortable at the 3 o'clock position. The belt loops are very nice, very well done. The edges are all burnished, very smooth. With their old holster for my 1911, you can see that the top edges were not burnished. The bottom was a little bit, but it was not well done in my opinion. So it started to fray fairly quickly. It's still holding up, but it's just something that I noted. They started burnishing the edges a lot better. It's very smooth all the way up top, all the way around. The belt loops are nice and burnished, as well as the bottom is very nicely burnished. Like my previous holster I just showed you, it is an open muzzle design. This one's designed for a Glock 19, which I have right here. As you can see, it fits nice and flush. If I really seat it in there, it still doesn't stick out, but if you had like an extended barrel or a compensator or a suppressor or something, it will stick out, obviously. One major negative I found with this holster wearing it for like a week is if I'm drawing the holster, it's completely fine. But it's when I'm reholstering the firearm. So let's say you're reholstering the firearm and you reholster it real aggressively. Sometimes I do. These belt loops will snap off with almost no pressure. They don't have really any click to them. You can hear a little bit of click, but they snap off with very little pressure. So that's a pretty big con in my opinion. It doesn't happen all the time. It's just when I'm reholstering aggressively. But it's just something to keep, just to note that if you're gonna reholster your firearm and it pushes down a little bit, it may pop off. So just double check it if you're out on the range and you're reholstering, that your belt clips are still attached. Speaking of the belt clips, on the back you can see it's adjustable for height on both sides. So with a Allen key right here, I don't know if it'll focus on camera for you. They do provide the Allen key in the box. With the Allen key, you can loosen these belt straps and put the ride height as high as you want or as low as you want. I've got it set to the lowest ride height. And you can also put them diagonally so you can change the cant of the firearm. You can customize it to how you want it to ride on your body and how it fits on you. Pretty versatile holster, I should say. Very nicely well built. The stitching, as expected from Craft Holsters, is very nice. No overlaps, no frayed edges, all the way up and down, both sides. Very well built holster. The only negatives I had, the retention piece isn't super nice. It still works a lot better not having it, but it doesn't work that great. Sorry, I keep rubbing my neck. I keep getting bit by bugs. Another negative, like I mentioned, are those belt clips. With any amount of pressure, they come loose. Now, if you're just putting on your belt and carrying it, it probably won't be a big issue. But if you're sitting down or if you're jumping up or moving around, these might come loose on you. So just keep that in mind. It hasn't happened to me on a regular basis. Just when I'm out here on the range and I'm reholstering, I notice these pop off fairly easily. The inside is a very nice, soft, like a suede material. It's very nice and soft, very well finished. It's not gonna mar up your slide. It's not gonna mess with the finish on your gun or anything like that. The positives, obviously, it's not gonna destroy your slide or mar it up. Probably won't show up on camera, but see how kind of chewed up that is? It's very rough looking. It wasn't like that when I first got it. The firearm I carry is a Glock 19. It's got some very aggressive slide serrations on the front and the rear. So when I holster it, it does tend to tear up the inside of that holster pretty well. If you have a regular Glock 19 or just a factory slide on any firearm, it probably won't happen to the extent that mine is, but it's just something to be noted if you're gonna carry like a custom firearm, that the inside will get chewed up fairly quickly. It doesn't really affect retention that much. Like, it's still in there really nice and tight. So it's not like it's gonna ruin the retention or the fit of the firearm in the holster. It's just something to be noted that it does chew it up pretty badly. But see, it's still not gonna go anywhere. A lot of their holsters, if I haven't mentioned before, a lot of their holsters are from Falco holsters. I don't know if that's where they get their leather or if they just work with them or they outsource their products through Falco holsters. But this one is one of their first designs that they've done in-house. It's stamped Craft Holsters on the back. I know a lot of people on my outside of the waistband were asking, what's it stamped on the back? This one is stamped Falco. I don't know if you can see it right here. There it is. This one is stamped Falco on the back, as opposed to this one. This is one of their first in-house designs. It's called the Lynx. It's about $60 on their website. It has a 15-degree forward cant, but like I mentioned, you can mess with the clips and get it, any way you want it. But on their website, it runs about $60. After shipping and handling, it's about $70, $75, depending on where you live, which is a really good deal for this. I mean, most custom outside the waistband or inside the waistband leather holsters could run you anywhere from $90 all the way up to $150 plus. So getting this shipped to you in no more than a week and a half too, by the way. When I ordered this from them, like I said, it was sent to me for free, but I still had to order it from them. It only took between production and then getting it to me about a week and a half. So that's really fast turnaround time, especially right now with the coronavirus and everything. That's a really fast turnaround time. So that's a huge positive. This is a really awesome company. They make really good products. The guy I've been talking to, his name's Al. He's an amazing dude, emailing me, letting me know every step of the way where my holster was as far as production, shipping, and even when it was delivered, they let me know that it was on its way and it was being delivered. So a really, really good company, really good customer service. I highly recommend you check these guys out. They have hundreds of holsters. This one, like I mentioned, is one of their new designs that they've done in-house. So it's limited right now on what firearms that can be made for it, but it's still, I'll show you right now that it has many, many different models and different makes of firearms that this holster can still be made for, and it's expanding. If it's not there now, just check back later. I'm sure they'll have your firearm in stock where they can make a holster for this. And if not for this, they have many other designs like I've mentioned. Another one they just released is their small of back. So it sits right there on that little small indent on your back. Looks like a great holster. I haven't tested it myself. Like I said, they've got plenty of designs, plenty of options. $60. You can't beat it. You just really can't. Didn't bring it with me, unfortunately, is a break-in kit. It's $10 on their website. It's a leather break-in kit. It's got a break-in liquid, a dauber, and a microfiber cloth. Take the dauber, you spray the break-in material around the edges, inside if you want, wherever it needs to be loosened up. They recommend you wrap your firearm in a bag, put it in, and just let it sit overnight with that break-in material on. That way it'll form to the holster, it'll loosen it up without losing any retention. But for me, all I did was just, I jammed the firearm in there multiple times because it was a very, very tight fit right out of the gate. It's loosened up substantially after wearing it and using it for the last week or so. I just sat there and I holstered it and unholstered it over and over. And now it still has plenty of retention, but it unholsters and reholsters. Much, much easier. To just recap, the pros are the price, the shipping, the company, the customer service, all that, the quality, it's there. So if things like that matter to you, then Craft Holsters is the place to go. The only cons, like I mentioned, is if you're taking your holster out or your firearm out of the holster, that retention piece is still not great. It does collapse on you, but it is a much better design than their previous one. But it is still a negative that it doesn't hold the firearm shape. And another negative, like I mentioned before, those belt loops are not very snappy, so they do snap off with very little force. I guess the biggest question is, would I purchase it or would I bother spending my money on this holster? I have to say yes and no. Yes, because it's a high quality holster, and like I mentioned, all the customer service, the quality, everything like that. So I would buy it for those reasons, and like I said, the retention is great. You can't go wrong here. The reason I say I wouldn't buy it is because it's just not my preferred method to carry. I prefer carrying outside the waistband. That's why I still carry my 1911 outside the waistband. Great holster, by the way. Love it. Had it for about almost a year now, and it's still brand new. If I'm gonna carry inside the waistband, it's usually a Kydex holster at the appendix carry. I wouldn't purchase it myself because I don't prefer to carry it on the hip. That's about it. I want to thank you guys for stopping in again. Really, really recommend you check these guys out. There will be a link in the description, like I've mentioned, to their holsters and to this exact holster design down below, and to the smaller back design that they just made down below as well. Go check them out. Send them an email, give them a call if you have any questions. I'm sure they can be super helpful. They're fast to respond. So with that, I just want to say thanks again. Stay armed and stay safe.